Another batch of heavy rain could cause some flooding across the east. Details just ahead in your first alert forecast.
More than a quarter of our state's children living in poverty. 9 on Your Side takes a closer look at living on minimum wage.
3 weeks after its closing, people in Hyde County still rallying for Vidant Pungo Hospital, what a newly formed group is hoping to change.
And another day with no agreement on the state's budget. We're breaking down the differences over Medicaid. 9 on Your Side at 5 starts right now.
This is 9 on Your Side at 5.
Good evening, I'm Angela Green.
And I'm Jeff Arner. Thanks for inviting us in. Another rainy, stormy day across the east. So let's get right to First Alert meteorologist David Sawyer. David.
Once again, Jeff and Angela, we are dealing with more showers and thunderstorms. Let's go to our live I-9 view. You'll see clouds across much of the 9 on Your Side viewing area. Greenville's view atop the Hampton Inn showing those gray skies off to the east, and Greenville Boulevard, some fairly wet roadways. First Alert Viper showing and tracking the showers and even some isolated heavier downpours across Edgecombe County, parts of Hertford County, Elizabeth City, Pasquotank County, and also right along the Wayne and Lenoir County line. I'll put this all into motion. You'll see how heavier rains a little while ago across Pitt County could have some low-lying areas with some water still remaining. Careful driving, as I know you will. Those ponding of water on the roadway still a threat, and that will be our biggest threat this evening. The heavy rain could still bring a good chance of some showers and thunderstorms, and low-lying areas could be compromised with some isolated flooding conditions. Lightning threat will be low but not zero. Gusty breezes with some of the heavier downpours and a minimal to almost zero chance of any hail tonight, or for that matter any severe weather. Careful driving. Otherwise, rain cooled air in the 70s. Where it's not raining, you can see the readings in the mid to upper 80s. We'll talk more about humidity and even a chance of some severe weather, plus look ahead to the tropics too in just a few minutes.
All right, David, thank you. Despite making major gains in health and education over the last 8 years, North Carolina ranks 34th in the nation in overall child well-being. That's the word from Kids Count Data Book. It examines 16 measures of a child's well-being in 4 categories, ranking states from 1 to 50. North Carolina ranks 28th in education, 32nd in health, and 36th in family and community. North Carolina, however, ranks 38th in economic well-being. The report says 26% of children in the state lived in poverty in 2012. That's up from 21% in 2005. 37% of our state's children live in a single-parent family, and more than 750,000 of them have parents who do not have secure employment, and many who do live on minimum wage, something that's very tough to do. Paying bills, rent, feeding a family, all on $7.25 an hour. Imagine doing that. Andrew Ruiz spent the day with a man in Greenville trying to do his best. He's live in the studio with more. Andrew.
Jeff, this all started when we heard about the Live the Wage Challenge. It's a movement to walk in the shoes of a minimum wage worker by living on a minimum wage budget. That's for 1 week with just $77. To get to that number, we calculated what someone makes in a week, which is $290 based on a full-time job. Subtract $176, the average for housing, $35 the average for taxes, and you're left with $77. That's not that much for Alonzo Stevenson, who's looking to jumpstart his career. The only job he could find was one at a fast food pizza giant. Stevenson says there are times he doesn't have a dollar to his name. He lives with 4 roommates to make it by. With a bike as his only mode of transportation, he says raising the minimum wage would definitely help. At this point, he couldn't imagine having kids or doing anything else without the minimum wage being higher.
I just put up $97 for a $380-some light bill. That's a check. That's one check of mine. Like, I would not have been able to pay that.
I know it's hard because I had to raise my kids on minimum wage, and now this is 2014, and it's harder.
Stevenson's grandmother says she does whatever to help, but says a low minimum wage creates a vicious cycle. Coming up at 6, we'll tell you the wage one organization is suggesting people should make. Live in the studio, Andrew Ruiz, 9 on Your Side.
Thank you, Andrew. It's now been 3 weeks since Vidant Pungo Hospital shut its doors. Today, nearly 100 folks came together in Hyde County to show their support of how desperate they are to open those doors back up. It's a story 9 on Your Side has been following since the beginning. Our Josh Birch speaking with concerned community members today in Swan Quarter. He joins us from the newsroom to explain, Josh.
Angela, as the weeks go by, those living in Hyde and eastern Beaufort counties are growing more restless as the hospital they say they need remains closed. An emotional meeting this morning that sent a clear message that Viden-Pungo was desperately needed in the area for all people and of all ages. Among those there, Mickey Lee Hamill, a member of the newly formed Healthy Communities United. Hamill says the group aims to represent the area in their fight to get their hospital back.
We're not a Democratic group. We're not a Republican group. We're not a black group, we're not a white group. We're not a rich group. We have some poor folks in the group. But the point of being is that we're all kind of like in the same mixing pot here to what has happened to us.
Hamill says the purpose of the group is to work together to spend less money on health care and make the community as a whole healthier. Coming up at 6, we'll hear from others about what life has been like since the hospital closed. Live in the newsroom, Josh Birch, 9 on your side.
And Belhaven Mayor Adam O'Neill is at the governor's mansion in Virginia right now. The mayor is making the stop in Richmond on his walk to Washington, D.C. O'Neill tweeted this picture from inside the governor's mansion this afternoon using the hashtag #SaveOurHospital. O'Neill is walking to spread awareness about Medicaid expansion and rural health care. We'll have much more from Richmond coming up tonight at 6 and 11. Governor Pat McCrory meets with Senate Republicans to tackle Medicaid reform. The governor says the state can't afford the current system or Medicaid expansion. The state spends about $3.5 billion to treat nearly 2 million people on Medicaid.
The House and Governor McCrory want Medicaid handled by groups made up of doctors and other health care providers. He calls these groups accountable care organizations. The House also keeps the state Medicaid office within the Department of Health and Human Services. The Senate, on the other hand, wants to shift Medicaid to a managed care model in which hospital and doctor networks as well as private insurance companies receive only a fixed amount for each patient. The Senate also wants to create a new state department led by a 7-member board to oversee Medicaid. The Senate believes its plan will create more predictability.
Short term, we need to control the budget. Long term, we need to find a way to put a sustainable system in place that will allow us to, one, identify what our real costs are and be able to budget accordingly, and two, provide what would be Medicaid services.
I think we are in lockstep in barrel with the governor and the House of Representatives because of the way they want to reform Medicare in a very methodical and thoughtful way.
Now, Senator Harry Brown of Jacksonville says the governor and lawmakers proposed potential compromises in this morning's meeting, but they've agreed on nothing. In a possible blow to a key Affordable Care Act program, a federal appeals court rules people cannot use tax credits or subsidies to buy health insurance on federally run exchanges. The divided panel says those cost-sharing subsidies can be used only through state-run exchanges. North Carolina does not have a state-run exchange, but another appeals court in Richmond unanimously came to the opposite conclusion. The case revolves around 4 words in the Affordable Care Act, which says the tax credits are available to people who enroll through an exchange, quote, established by the state. The White House says the subsidies will continue.
Forensics experts with Interpol have begun identifying the remains of people who died on Malaysia Airlines Flight 17. Now the international community is taking more action against Russia. European Union members voting today to impose new sanctions against Russian officials and say further sanctions could be coming if Russia does not stop supporting the rebels in Ukraine. The White House says it will work with its European allies.
We are going to continue to work with the international community to coordinate efforts to impose costs on Russia.
Putin says the problems in Ukraine started when the former president was thrown from office in a popular uprising, and he says Western governments helped plot that overthrow. And Israel is now a temporary no-fly zone, with the FAA grounding U.S. flights to and from Israel at least until tomorrow. Delta says its only daily flight from New York to Tel Aviv was already in the air when the decision was made. The flight was diverted to Paris with 290 people on board. Meanwhile, Secretary of State John Kerry and UN Secretary General Ban Ki-moon are stepping up efforts toward a diplomatic end to the conflict.
Hamas has a fundamental choice to make, and it is a choice that will have a profound impact for the people of Gaza.
The U.S., Egypt, and Israel wants Hamas to accept an unconditional ceasefire, but for now, Hamas is sticking to its guns. The most famous baby in the world turns 1 today.
Yes, the British royal baby, not Kim Kardashian's kid. The little George's family is celebrating by releasing new photos. Still to come tonight, more on the small party for the future king, and we'll show you some of those photos.
Plus, services at Arlington National Cemetery today for one of the most famous POWs in history. The amazing story of the man best known for blinking a secret code to the U.S. during a forced televised interview.
Up next, your forecast calling for more showers and thunderstorms. We'll detail that in your first alert forecast.
I'm Brian Bailey. We're live tonight at the Mellow Mushroom in Greenville. It's the ECU IMG kickoff party, and it's now official. What's official, you say? We'll have it for you live. All the details coming up in just a bit.
Now your WNCT 9 First Alert weather.
Let's take a closer look at some of the showers and thunderstorms that could cause some flooding concerns because of the slow movement and the heavy downpours associated with some of these showers forming this evening. First, we'll head on into Edgecombe County. You'll note that right now raining pretty steadily and heavily around Pine Tops, also just south of Tarboro, Macclesfield, and then right along the Pitt and Edgecombe County line. Not severe, but because of these showers and thunder showers moving so slowly, again illustrating my point of the possibility of some localized flooding where the rain is heavier. Some heavier showers near LaGrange and western Lenoir County. We look on into Wayne County, also Salston just south of Goldsboro, near Seymour Johnson Air Force Base, southeastern portions of Wayne County too. One more stop takes us into Beaufort County, where we're tracking these heavier showers right now near Yatesville, just to the northeast of Bath. These again are slow movers. I'll put them into motion. You'll see how the showers of thunderstorms were earlier this afternoon, heavier across Pitt County. They've died down, and that's the nature of what you're going to have for the rest of this evening. Pop-up showers could be heavy at times. Be aware too, isolated lightning strikes could require you to make sure you're in a safe place as long as these heavier downpours are around your community. 7-day forecast available at the bottom of your screen, available all the way through your 9 on your side first alert forecast. Calling for more showers and storms. Rain cooled air in the 70s right now where it's not raining. New Bern, for example, 85 to contrast that. But everyone has a chance of some evening showers and storms. Things will quiet down late with temperatures overnight in the low to mid 70s, both inland and the coast. Right along the beaches could be in the upper 70s by night's end. Check out more showers and storms developing on Wednesday. Hot with afternoon highs upper 80s to near 90 degrees unless a thunderstorm comes your way, lowering your temperatures into the 70s. As we'll head on into Thursday too, we'll talk why there is an even better chance of showers and storms before the end of the work week. Tropical depression too falling apart as it's running into very dry air and upper level winds. It's kind of tearing it apart. 35-mile-per-hour winds. It's maintaining its tropical depression status, moving off to the west, may cross and will likely bring some gusty winds to the lesser Antilles in the eastern Caribbean, but it becomes a remnant low according to the official forecast by Thursday afternoon. Our next weather maker is this cold front. As it crosses eastern North Carolina Thursday afternoon into Thursday evening, we will have a chance of showers and storms that could be on the strong to maybe severe side. Count on first alert weather to keep you ahead of any threats. Friday, though, clearing out some, and Saturday, too, looks to be phenomenal with lower rain chances as we move on into the weekend. Chance of storms, though, at 60% Thursday. Hot, too, with a high of 92 degrees inland, upper 80s at the coast, and that 60% chance of storms. Again, we'll be watching for the possibility of some isolated severe weather. Count on your first alert team to be in the forecast center, as we always will.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
We've both been outside today. I don't know if Jeff saw it.
That's exactly
but
what I was
those
gonna say.
clouds look horrible.
They did look
outside.
threatening. They
Yeah.
sure
And it's
did.
amazing how the rain doesn't take the humidity away.
It's
like
right.
you think it would sort of cool it off.
Make it feel better, but it's
Not today.
much more on the sticky side.
Yeah. All right.
Thank
Thanks,
you, David.
David. A small party for the future King of England today. Coming up next, see some new photos of young Prince George. Plus,
an American prisoner of war, famous for his act of defiance while in captivity, is buried here at Arlington National Cemetery. I'm Mark Albert in Washington with the story of this remarkable veteran.
You're watching 9 on Your Side News at 5 with Jeff Varner, Angela Green, meteorologist David Sawyer, and Brian Bailey Sports.
Prince George celebrating his first birthday today with a small party at his royal home and the royal family releasing new photos. They were taken inside the Butterfly House at London's Natural History Museum. One shows the young prince walking. Royal watchers can't get enough.
He's really cute. Good set of hair on him.
Chubby cheeks, it's so cute.
He's lovely. He does look a lot like his daddy on that photograph, doesn't he?
Now, guests who attended the party at Kensington Palace were apparently told not to bring Prince George any presents because, get this past year, he's already received 4,000 gifts from 48 countries.
Ridiculous. A former senator and prisoner of war honored today with a funeral at Arlington National Cemetery. Jeremiah Denton was held captive more than 7 years in North Vietnam, surviving starvation and brutality. Mark Albert has more on Denton's famous acts of bravery from Washington.
Even among acres of patriots, Jeremiah Denton stands out. On Tuesday at Arlington National Cemetery, family and friends said goodbye to the 89-year-old war hero, and a nation said thank you.
Well, he was just a true American patriot.
Commander Denton was flying a mission over North Vietnam when he was shot down and captured in 1965. His captors forced him to film a propaganda interview. Denton famously used his eyes to blink the word torture in Morse code to let the U.S. know prisoners were being abused. Barry Booth also served in Vietnam and marvels at Denton's bravery.
What courage that took. Unbelievable courage.
Denton was released in 1973 after 7.5 years of captivity, which included solitary confinement in a cell the size of a refrigerator.
We are honored to have had the opportunity to serve our country under difficult circumstances.
He was elected to the Senate from Alabama in 1981. On Capitol Hill, lawmakers paid tribute.
We honor the memory of this great man and distinguished former member of this body.
Denton was laid to rest with full military honors in a final salute. Mark Albert for CBS News, Washington.
I'm Brian Bailey. We are live tonight at the ECU IMG football kickoff, and we are kicking off some huge news. We'll have all the details for you coming up live tonight in sports after this. All right, welcome back live to the Mellow Mushroom. Tonight it's the IMG ECU kickoff party. We're talking football, and we're kicking off a brand new partnership between East Carolina and WNCT TV Channel 9. Channel 9, WNCT TV is the new official home of the East Carolina Pirates. We are now the official station of the Pirates, and Megan Henson joins us from IMG, the general manager of IMG Pirate Sports Marketing. We can't be any happier. We hope you are.
Oh, we're so excited to be working with you, Brian. We are hoping that you're going to bring back some of the success with the Peach Bowl year. The CAA tournament win, all that kind of stuff. So we're looking forward to being back with you guys.
I bring that up from time to time. Yeah, they haven't been ninth in the nation since we lost the coaches show. So hopefully we can get that back. But it's a huge day for Channel 9, a huge day for East Carolina. We can't wait to get started.
We're thrilled. We really are excited about the partnership and having Coach Ruff and Coach Lebo, giving them that opportunity not only to be on WNCT, but to also be on the CW and get that expanded coverage throughout Eastern North Carolina.
And the coaches shows, the Ruff and McNeil show, the Jeff Lebo show will both air at 11:30 a.m. on Sunday mornings on Channel 9. Let's show you how we introduced Petey to the staff today at WNCT Channel 9, and we got Petey hooked up in absolute style. Let's show you some of those pictures in a stretch limo, and Petey was out at the Channel 9 studios as he's pulling up right there. The official introduction. Watch the big feet right. Yeah, there you go. Petey is heading home. He's got a partner in crime right there for sure, and the staff very excited to meet him. All right, Shelly Benninger now joins us, Associate AD for External Affairs at East Carolina. We're very excited about the relationship.
Super excited to have you guys on board. I cannot wait for all the new stuff we're going to be able to do with you and engage our fans more during games. And I don't know if you're not bragging about yourself, you're being too humble, but you're going to now be on the sideline with us to do some live reports during our football games up on the video board. So our fans kind of get that watching TV experience in the stands, and it's going to be awesome.
I'm kind of looking forward to that because I've never seen that anywhere. Now I'm the guinea pig.
That's exactly right. We knew you were the best person to be the guinea pig, so we're excited for it. Not very many stadiums do it, so we're excited to add that to our fans and give them a more interactive feel and see what you come up with on the sidelines during the games.
That'll be fun. Two of the best things about this whole thing for me, one, Brian Meador, one of my best friends in the whole world, be working with him, and Ruff and McNeil. What can you say about Coach Ruff? He's going to join us live at 6:20 tonight. Well, back with more news for you coming up right after this.
Another gray, rainy one. What do we got in the 7 days ahead?
Let's take a look toward the weekend, and you'll note that, yes, another chance of showers and storms. More heat and humidity coming back to eastern North Carolina Wednesday as well as Thursday. I point your attention to Thursday also with even higher rain chances. Storms could be severe as a frontal system comes, but to trade out drier weather part of the weekend. Actually, we can see some sunshine on Saturday versus clouds. 88 our high on Saturday. Similar forecast for the weekend toward the coast with temperatures in the 80s.
All right. Thanks, David. Well, coming up next on your 9 on your side at 5:30, a no-fly zone in Israel as international sanctions ramp up against Russia. The latest on what's going on in the Middle East. We're back in just a minute. Stay